Biden announced that his first order of business would be a massive $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. This stimulus bill is called the American Rescue Plan, and he hopes to get this bill passed very quickly as soon as he is inaugurated. So, with all the things that have been happening, millions of households are facing financial hardships, and a lot of businesses have had to lay off employees and cut back hours as the pandemic worsens. There's been about 1 million unemployment claims since the first week of January, and there's been record numbers of COVID-19 cases and deaths. We think that it is likely that this stimulus bill will be passed. However, I think there's something that needs to be discussed, which is how these stimulus bills affect the economy. I think a lot of people are excited by these stimulus checks. However, this $1.9 trillion gets added onto our national debt, which is increasing exponentially, and it doesn't go away. It's not free money, and that has repercussions on the future of our economy. So this is something that we all need to think about and consider. Also, the second stimulus has been passed already, and they have released these payments at the end of December, and they'll be mailing out these payments up until January 15th. So what you should do is go on the irs.gov website, and there's a link where it says Get My Payment. And on this link, once you fill out your personal information, it will tell you when and how your payment will be released. So it'll tell you if there's a direct deposit and on what date, or if it's being mailed to you, it'll tell you when it's been mailed, and you'll either get a check or a debit card with the amount that you're qualified for. With the new stimulus bill that Joe Biden is proposing, if it does get approved, then your checks, your deposit will get topped up. So if you get $600, you'll get $1,400 to top that off to make it $2,000. And the government will top this off as quickly as possible once the bill gets passed. So that will be done automatically and you don't have to do anything. So another question is, how do you know if you're eligible for these stimulus checks? So there are guidelines on how they're approving these stimulus checks for people, and the income limits are based on adjusted gross income, your AGI. So if you're filing your taxes individually, you have to make no more than $75,000 to get the full stimulus check. So as of right now, the second stimulus check is $600, so you can't make any more than $75,000 to get the full amount. If you're married and filing jointly, you can't make any more than $150,000 to get the full amount of $1,200. And if you're the head of the household, you can't make any more than $112,000. So there are income limits where you don't get any stimulus checks. If your adjusted gross income is more than $87,000 as an individual, or $174,000 as a married couple, or if you're the head of household and make more than $124,000, you are not eligible for any amount of stimulus check. If you are eligible to receive the stimulus check and you don't receive it, you don't have to worry because you can actually claim it on your 2020 tax return. So you just need to remember to file it by April 15th of 2021. And if you received the wrong amount, you can claim the rest of the amount that you qualify for on your 2020 tax return. All you will need is your Notice 1444, which is your economic payment notice from the IRS to file. It's actually the recovery rebate credit, which is the same thing as your stimulus payments. They're one and the same. So your first round of stimulus check and your second round stimulus checks are just advance payments of this recovery rebate tax credit. So if the combined total of your first and second stimulus checks is less than the amount of the recovery rebate credit, you will be entitled to a refund or a lower tax bill. So definitely claim this or file for this if you think you may be eligible. So even if the stimulus checks exceed this amount, you don't have to repay it back. The recovery rebate credit helps those Americans who didn't receive their stimulus checks or didn't receive the right amount. Even if you're not required to file a tax return, you should definitely fill one out to determine if you qualify for this recovery rebate tax credit. You must file the Form 1040 or the Form 1040 SR to claim this recovery rebate credit. Anyone who makes less than $72,000 can file a tax return electronically for free under the IRS Free File program. Even if you owe the state or federal government money, this should not prevent you from getting those stimulus checks. They do not apply it to your debt. So remember to still see if you qualify, and don't worry if you have debts to cover, because it should not affect how much stimulus payment you receive. Also, if you're applying for any benefits or assistance from a federal program, the income you get from stimulus checks should not be applied to your overall income. So it should not affect what benefits or assistance you receive from these federal programs. When you do receive your stimulus checks, what should you do with it? Most people are suffering from financial hardship will apply the stimulus checks to their rent, to their food, to their basic necessities. And this is what it is for. It's to put money back into the economy. And for some people, they are lucky enough to not need this for basic necessities. So you really need to be thoughtful about how you're going to use this money. First, you should invest your money into a retirement account, such as an IRA or a Roth IRA. You have up until April 15th, 2021 to contribute to these retirement accounts for the 2020 tax year. So it's not too late to do that, and you'll be contributing to your future investments. It's never a bad idea to invest into your retirement accounts, but if you're someone like me who likes to invest in stocks that I choose, then go ahead. But remember, when you're investing in individual stock, you're using tax dollars, and when you sell those stocks, you are paying taxes on the capital gains of those stocks. But I think investing will be another video because I can talk about that forever. It's definitely something that is an interest of mine, and I always talk about it to my family. So it's really a personal decision. I can't tell you how to invest, but I think you should really assess your personal finances and see what is the best way to invest your money for you. Remember, there are a lot of people struggling at this time. So if you don't really need those stimulus payments, you have an emergency fund, you're very comfortable, I think another great way to use those stimulus payments is to actually donate that money. And it actually benefits you as well, because you can deduct a portion of your donations on your tax returns for 2020 or for 2021. There's a new above the line deduction for cash donations up to $300. I think there are many great ways in which you can help local small businesses. You can buy a gift card that you can use later when the pandemic is over and when it's safe or when you feel comfortable. You can also save that money as part of your emergency fund. Since it is such an uncertain time, it's really hard to tell what's going to happen in the future. You can save it, you can put it into a high interest savings account, or you can invest that money so that you can get some returns later on. I usually recommend investing it in a low-cost index fund if you don't want to research individual businesses. And if you're a beginner investor, I think low-cost index funds are the way to go. Or of course, if you are the savvy investor and like to research businesses and really feel strongly about a certain business, you can help those businesses that you believe in.